The following portion of Daytime Tri-Cities is sponsored by State of Franklin Healthcare Associates. Once again, it is time to meet your provider with State of Franklin Healthcare Associates, and today we're here at First Choice Internal Medicine, and I'm talking to Dr. Stephen Sauer. Doctor, thank you so much for taking some time.
No problem. My pleasure.
Let's talk about your path to being here at First Choice Internal Medicine and with State of Franklin Healthcare Associates.
Yeah, so I graduated in residency just as of June of 2024, but I've kind of had a little bit of a serpiginous path to becoming a doctor.
Okay.
But long story short, how I got to be here at State of Franklin is that we have some family members that live in the area, and I also went to medical school with a resident at that time,
Yes.
who was 4 doors down from me, who was also going through the same stages of life with having a family and kids, and Dr. Chris Gill, who's
Right.
a pediatrician with First Choice Pediatrics. So through those two connections, that's primarily how I got to be introduced to the area and as well as the practice.
Initially, Dr. Sauer was following the path of emergency medicine, but that path went in another direction.
So I originally had started out to be an emergency medicine physician. That's what I thought I was going to be out of residency, or sorry, out of medical school.
Right.
But through different paths, that didn't work out. So I was able to get into a internal medicine spot in Florida.
Okay.
And so that kind of that's the way that path was kind of chosen for me.
Sauer is a fairly new addition to the lineup of physicians at State of Franklin Healthcare Providers, and he's looking forward to meeting and treating patients on a daily basis.
So I'll primarily be seeing patients. That's kind of like my role as an outpatient provider. Most of the time I'll be seeing patients, talking with staff, preparing to see patients. And then, every so often I'll be available when people have something goes bump in the night.
Dr. Sauer has been married for 16 years and has 4 daughters, and while in Florida before coming to East Tennessee, the Sauer family enjoyed time in the great outdoors.
In Florida, being the warm weather, we were able to go out a bunch in Florida. They have lots of great natural resources there with having hot springs as well as other things to go see throughout most of the year.
The doctor's children are involved in a lot of sports, and they come by this love of athletics because their father was a minor league baseball player for 4 years.
Yes, I was in the minor league system with the Chicago White Sox for 4 years.
Talk to me about that experience and how that relates to what you're doing now.
So when I started out in baseball, that was a primary focus of me, but in the background I always knew that eventually that time would come to pass.
Right.
And I just found myself interested with things of rehabilitation and kind of some of the medical aspect of when people would get injured.
As Dr. Sauer begins his practice here in the Tri-Cities, he's already looking ahead to the future.
Well, I hope to be, an excellent provider to my patients, first of all, and eventually down the road, I will want to be incorporated in some sort of medical education. So whether that be having medical students come to the practice, or residents, or me being able to teach some lectures in that way, that's kind of the way I see it.
All right, Dr. Stephen Sauer, thank you so much.
All right.
Folks, that's Dr. Stephen Sauer, internal medicine here at First Choice Internal Medicine, part of State of Franklin Healthcare Associates. The preceding portion of Daytime Tri-Cities was sponsored by State of Franklin Healthcare Associates.